Okay, so I'm Cynthia, and I am the host of the reality series CPS the Horror Stories. I'm not an attorney or a social worker, but I am a mom of two that had her children kidnapped by CPS, and after 2 years of fighting, I did get my kids back. Now I have this platform to allow parents and friends or family members to just share their side of the story and their experience with the corruption, devastation, and traumatic events that's caused by Child Protective Services. So, Nicole, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Nicole Cantrell. I've actually been battling CPS for only since July.
Okay.
I'm the one that reported the first time for my daughter. She's the one that got sexually touched by another child in her father's home. Um, However, CPS labeled the other child as a victim and closed it within a matter of a couple weeks.
How old is the other child?
And then 7.
So, your daughter's older.
Mm-hmm.
So they said that she's the one who's doing it.
No, they just put her as the victim.
Your daughter or the other child?
The other one.
But
Mm-hmm.
is
They
your
just
daughter
closed
not
it
the victim?
because, well, now she is because her counselor reported another report. And now my daughter's the victim. But they don't believe that anything happened because the dad doesn't believe anything happened.
Your service is not very good. It's hard to hear, but what I am hearing is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You're breaking out too. That's why I'm trying to make sure I hear the whole question.
right. Do you have anything that has Wi-Fi near you, like a Starbucks or anything?
Yeah, well, I was gonna get my Wi-Fi turned on Friday, actually. It's just been a payment issue.
Okay. We might have to wait until Friday. Unless you have
Okay.
a drivable place that we can use their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, I won't be able to go right now. I have the kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about outside? You want to try outside?
Yeah, I can try. Let's see.
See, whatever you did right now gave you white bars.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, so I don't know if it was standing up or that's what it seems like. Seems like standing up is maybe it's the height. I don't know.
Yeah, what about now? Does it look better now?
Yeah, it's still good. It's still in the white.
Okay, perfect. Because now you're not breaking out.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm hearing you on cue with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm in my daughter's room, so that's probably why.
Okay. We'll just stay there for right now.
Yes.
Okay, so what I heard, your daughter who's 8 years old
Mm-hmm.
is being sexually touched
Mm-hmm.
by her dad's stepchild.
Daughter's girlfriend, the girlfriend's daughter. Yes.
Right, okay. Who is a year younger than her.
Mm-hmm.
And when CPS was informed, they put the other little girl as the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and didn't really put anything with your daughter.
Mm-mm.
So weird.
I didn't even know that until he sent me a screenshot of his closing case saying, look, now you have no reason for her not to come over here.
It doesn't even like how.
Exactly.
If there's
And then,
2 people and one is a victim, how did she become a victim? Like there's just
I have no idea. And that's what I told them. I go, she's touching my daughter. And they were like, well, then we need to look into her since she's the one that's doing the perpetrating. And I was like, but what about my daughter? And they're like, well, it seems like you're doing all that you can do, which is put her in counseling.
okay.
And then another case was opened because while my daughter was in counseling, she made the same outcries.
What happened?
They put her as the victim this time.
Victim
Of alleged sexual abuse
by.
by the other child.
Okay. So they are saying that.
But now we had a family meeting, and for one, since the dad is agreeing to put cameras in his apartment, and blames our daughter for what happened, they said they have no concerns.
Oh, this just makes me.
And my daughter is like vocal about it. Like she'll talk about it. She's not ashamed, but her dad will literally tell her, you know, it was an accident. And my daughter goes, no, it happened more than once. It happened at her grandmother's. It happened at your house. And, you know, she's very strongly about what happened. And he goes, no, baby girl, it was just an accident. Daddy will watch you. And yeah. And I told CPS, I called the supervisor of the investigator, because the investigator, she was like, well, they're not sleeping in the same bed anymore, because he had them sleep in the same bed.
Okay, can I ask you, did they ever figure out who's touching that little girl?
They didn't look into it. They said there's nothing going on with her.
I don't know.
I asked the same thing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I don't know about you, but who's touching her? It's not like she had a dream about it.
Because I told them to look into that too. She needs help. You know, both of our kids need this help. I'm a psychology major. You know, I've looked into that. I go, that's a red flag. And when my daughter tells me, oh yeah, she also says, you know, she thinks about killing herself. She wants to be a murderer and like all this stuff. And I told CPS, I'm not comfortable with this child around my child. Like y'all don't understand how my child is so uncomfortable. And they're like, well, you have to follow court order, which is he gets her overnight on the weekends. So I have not been letting her go. He served me with papers, and now I have court because he's saying I'm keeping her from him for no reason.
Oh, my heart, like, I'm just running it through my head is, you know, natural thing to do, run it through my head as if it was happening to my own children.
And just hearing her father saying, you know, Nicole, I don't know what you're talking about. Kids are kids. They're curious. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's happened multiple times, multiple pieces.
There you go. Hold on, because you're cutting out. You went red all of a sudden. Did you do something?
Yeah, you.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Is that better?
Not yet. It's still red. Right there.
Okay. Right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was I gonna say?
That it was like happening to your child.
Yeah. What were you saying then?
Just to hear the father saying,
Yes, like it's no
oh,
big deal. Or
yeah.
yeah, if it happened only once, they're just curious. One time, okay, I can understand, especially if you just had maybe the sex talk with them or the period talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if it's multiple times, and is this, may I ask if do you know the details? What are they doing?
So
You're cutting out again.
sorry.
You went
It
complete.
happened. Yeah, no, somebody was calling, that's why.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
So I asked you how many times and stuff, and what exactly are they doing?
So it happened twice so far. One while my daughter was asleep. She would touch her, we call it no-no, which is a no-no part. The second time, she's very detailed about this one. She was at her grandmother's. The girl wanted to
Wanted to
dare
what?
my daughter to play truth or dare.
Okay.
And she dared my daughter to play Xbox all day. And my daughter said no. And so she grabbed my daughter's no-no. And my daughter said, stop, don't do that. And she kept rubbing it down there. And she didn't tell her grandmother because she thought she would get in trouble.
Was it a way of when she grabbed it, like mean, hard, or like knew what she was doing type of thing?
I've asked my daughter and she goes, no, mommy, I think she knew what she was doing because I asked her the same thing. And she goes, no, mommy, I feel like she did it on purpose because she knows that she's told her, don't touch me there before.
So I wonder, it must be done to her in a threatening way like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I've talked, like, literally when this happened, my daughter was there for 30 days, court ordered during the summer. And when she came home, first thing she said, that's what happened. And then I called her dad. He goes, well, call my girlfriend because it's not my problem. That's her child. Yeah. And I was like, this happened to our daughter.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, our daughter's not doing it, so you need to call her mother. I had to call her mom and tell her. And she was like, oh, well, I think it was just a learning experience for the kids.
Again, more than,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it?
That was it. Since this family meeting we had last Friday, where they literally said that my daughter's the one that provoked it. And then
How?
they were saying they don't know the whole story because I haven't let them talk to my daughter alone. So they're going based off what the other child is saying. And CPS goes, okay, well, what do you plan on doing to protect your child? Telling the dad. He's like, well, I've agreed to put cameras and to not have them alone and sleep in the same bed anymore.
Okay. But what about further investigating it?
They said there's nothing to investigate, that my daughter just needs counseling, and that's
Does the other little girl, does she have a dad that she goes to?
She doesn't see her dad.
So your daughter's dad's the only male.
Yes. And that's who she knows is her dad.
I don't know. Do you feel he could be doing something?
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he is a perverted person, but he plays that dumb card. I mean, in the family meeting, his mom was talking more than he was. So, I mean, and then when I was like, we can do supervised visitation, he goes, I don't feel comfortable with supervised visitation. I don't feel comfortable with this. Oh, but you can let our daughter feel uncomfortable?
Yeah,
it's not about you.
You.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I told CPS that. They're like, well, you and him are just going to have to co-parent and, you know, talk about it. And I'm like, I've tried talking to this narcissist. It's not working. How am I supposed to talk to him if he doesn't even believe our own daughter?
Do you think that he would do anything to your daughter?
I've never thought that, I mean, he would.
The only reason I feel like the answer would be no is because number one, it sounds like your daughter would tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, she seemed very shocked by the behavior being done to her. So if it's done to her before, she wouldn't be so shocked now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah. I mean, I hope not. Like, I mean, he has another baby on the way, and that was a victim card he tried to play too. You know, oh, Nicole's trying to keep my daughter away when a baby's on the way, and, you know.
That sounds like my ex.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Yeah. I mean,
It puts you in a trance. I'm literally feeling. I can't even begin to feel what you feel, but I'm like,
yeah.
it's crazy to me. I'm like shaking right now.
Yeah. And then just hearing my daughter talk about it, you know, it's just like, I don't even, because she knows I'd never purposely keep her dad away from her, but it's just like, you know, if he's not going to believe you, how am I supposed to trust him to take care of you, you know? And she's 8, so she doesn't really, to her, she'll always love her dad. And I know that.
Yeah.
And that's just the hard thing. She still thinks there's cupcakes and rainbows, and I'm a child advocate, and that's the hardest thing too. I can't even advocate for my own child.
I know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've made a GoFundMe just to hire an attorney to modify our current order, and he's just like, the only thing that's going to be hard to prove is because CPS won't do a forensic interview, and so like it's just I don't even know what to freaking do.
How much have you tried to find out how much is that forensic interviewer person is?
No, I haven't. Because every child advocate place that I've called, I have to get a referral from like CPS or law enforcement. And I've made a police report, but it's not against the law because she's under 10.
I'm thinking so hard.
Just me. I've looked into all of it, and Dallas CPS, they really do. And I told them, what is it going to take for y'all to pay attention? I go, does another incident have to happen? And they told me, yeah, because it was outside the clothing, no penetration, so there's nothing that they can do.
It was outside the clothing?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that right there shows it wasn't out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Huh. Because if you're curious, wouldn't you want the other person to touch you?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's on the outside of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you're curious on like what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not, hey, how does this feel?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There.
Yep.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. You know, we do a radio show on Saturday nights.
Yeah, I've saw that on your page. Mm-hmm.
Have you called yet?
No, but I have the number.
I want you to call on Saturday
Okay.
because I think this would be a fantastic question to ask
Mm-hmm.
Ernie and see what he says.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Can you get my number from
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and text me, and that way when you call on Saturday, I will know when you're on hold which one you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry to you that
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Thank you for listening, though. I mean, nobody really listens because it's child on child abuse.
I know. It's not, it's probably not often told on, and it's probably also not done within the houses like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, that would be the most common.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's not even any questions to ask. One thing I can say, at least CPS didn't take the girls you know?
Yeah.
And I think after all the phone calls and stuff like that, you made the right choice in not letting her go over there. Because had you done so and CPS like really thought about it or whatever, they could say, well, failure to protect.
And that's what my attorney said too. He's like, you're gonna have to kind of play with CPS because they can find me as an unfit mother for not protecting her. And so, which is why I'm being overbearing, which is I'm not, like, I told him, you can call. Hello, we have FaceTime. This is,
Yeah, 20th century.
I go, you can call. Well, I'm always at work. That's not my problem. I mean, you make time for your kid. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, because what would you be doing if she was at your house right now?
Yep. And it kind of makes me think too, because when this did happen, they did live in an apartment in a 1-bedroom where they all slept in the same bedroom. And he also has a son by a different baby mama that goes over there on the same weekends as my daughter, which is her half brother. Because he sleeps on the top bunk and then 2 girls sleep on the bottom bunk. And then I heard it from his mother too. How dare I call CPS on this accusation when she knows this little girl won't do anything to hurt anybody. Because if it really did happen, my daughter would have told her, she keeps saying.
Told her what?
If it really did happen, my daughter would have told her grandmother.
Why?
Exactly.
Like, what's the reasoning on that one?
Because apparently to her, my daughter tells her a lot of stuff, and she doesn't see why she wouldn't tell her that happened in her home.
Maybe she was afraid or threatened or...
Trust me, I took out all the statistics that I've learned.
The thing that makes me angry about these people, number one, they're getting defensive, and they're getting defensive because they are, know that they're guilty, and they're selfish. It's not about you.
Yep.
Why is everybody trying to make it quiet and minimize it?
That's what I told her. And when she kept telling my daughter, oh, it's just an accident, my daughter told her, no, it's not. It was not an accident. And I told her, you keep saying that. You keep saying that because that was not an accident. Like, my daughter will stick up for herself against her own grandmother because I told her, that's good. You stand up for yourself because
yes.
I've had it happen to me too. So why? I mean, for it to happen to my daughter, it's like one of the freaking, punch in the gut.
Do you know how? Hold on one second. That whole time I wasn't recording. Not that whole time, just a small thing. One of my fears, though, and now I already outweighing it, the possibility I would still be doing what you're doing, but my fear, because I've seen this happen or heard it happen on stories, is they end up arresting you and then putting your daughter with him anyways.
And then I'll go right back to prison for something else because that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's one thing I've seen a lot happen.
Yep.
Think of it just irritates the heck out of me when you think of the name Child Protective.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what's.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that you're married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're remarried.
Mm-hmm. I never married her dad.
Okay.
I was 16, he was 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a difference at that age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. But now, I mean, my husband treats her. Now she calls my husband because she knows her daddy, which is her biological father. But to her, that's her other daddy.
Which one is her real daddy? Or to her?
To her is my husband.
Okay.
Because
Well, yeah.
he goes to field trips, he goes to parks, he goes to play dates, he goes to all of it. Because every time I ask her biological father, hey, first day of school, he won't show. He ain't got time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like my story. And, like, my daughter has called her dad recently because she's going to start her period soon. I don't know when. It better be sooner than
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, how much mouth? Sorry, 1 second. So my daughter told him that she's going to start her period.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, ew, I don't want to know about that. I'm a boy. We don't have, we don't. And she went from being excited about it, like just it's a new phase of life, and mommy's
Mm-hmm.
this, and I'm nervous about this, and we had to go buy pads
Mm-hmm.
to,
Yep.
I mean, the look of devastation in her face. And then I finally understood why society or men think it's gross to be on your period. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Trust me, me and my baby daddy had an argument because my daughter's in training bras. Mm-hmm. But he got mad because I didn't tell him when it happened.
Oh.
As he goes, as a dad, I should know these things because he's father of the year. And he doesn't like the fact that my husband knew before he did.
Well, that was probably more than anything. But how did he find out she was in the training bras?
Because whenever she used to go, she started wearing training bras the beginning of this year because she's a little on the chubby part. And when she would go over there, he saw her with the bra on, and he called me complaining, how come I didn't tell him? She was starting to wear bras. He has the right to know what's going on with his daughter. All this. It was literally an hour of freaking being bitched at for over a bra.
Huh.
I mean, literally this dude, I had to literally get in his face and tell him
No.
to quit putting that other girl's underwear on my child.
Say that again?
I had to quit telling him to quit putting that other child's underwears on my child. because he would have them switch clothes all the time. And I told him no because she kept getting rashes and that's nasty. And I literally had to get a doctor's note until she got a vaginal rash for him to quit doing that and to quit taking them baths together when they were already in school. Literally for 6 months, my daughter had thought, because they kept telling him they were twins. They're not twins. They're not even related. But they would dress them alike and be like, y'all are twins. And for a while, I had to get my daughter to be like, that's not your twin.
How long have they been together? The dad and stepmom, or whatever she is?
They've been together for 4 years, I think. Maybe 3-4 years.
Huh. That's.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one moment.
Okay.
You said that your daughter actually got a rash from.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even believe that. That it had to
Yeah.
get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the only way he'll believe me.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And how was she telling you that she was not okay with that?
She was just with her body. She's very like private about herself. And so that was something that I was like, okay, then that's something that no. Because she's always been that way.
Okay. Like my daughter and her cousins, they'll all take baths together, but she has these other cousins that are just 2 years older than her, but have always been more. I don't want to. Yeah, but I'm trying to think like sexually more experienced, like not doing anything, but mentally understanding it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me, I get all that. Mm-hmm.
And I've always like been so hesitant and anxious on them like saying stuff to her before she needed to know it, or you know what I mean? I felt like their age was too young to know certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with that, but when I feel that she's getting rashes, she's uncomfortable, things like that.
You're breaking up really bad. I didn't hear you. Is that your daughter?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
You look just like your mom.
Wait, we are not.
We don't look alike?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Everybody else does.
Yeah, maybe it's just like the hair and everything. Aww.
Yeah. That's how they watch a movie.
I love that. Well, I'm beyond sorry and completely choking up just by hearing this and hearing that there still isn't really a solution. I'm just curious, and I apologize if you already said this, but does he come see her for visits?
Whenever he has time.
But what would he be doing on his weekend if he had her?
He would be at work, and his girlfriend would have her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, imagine.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that from
Well,
But he uses. I take away his visitation, even though he doesn't see her. But he said it's his time, and he gets to spend it however he wants.
yeah. Okay.
Like, he's very cocky about this whole thing. I mean, like he said, he doesn't need a lawyer. He goes, I have all the evidence I need. I don't need nobody.
That's my ex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's crazy. Hold on. Well, is there anything else? Is there anything that you would say to a parent that's going through this or has gone through this? Or is there anything that you would say or want to ask?
The only thing is, I mean, just to get out the story that child on child abuse is abuse. Doesn't make it any less than from an adult. That's the only thing I want to get out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Like I said, I mean, they downplay it so much, and it's not something to play with.
You're right. And I want to make sure that we do our daughters.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.